have you turned the camera on? Right, now will come the recording of the groom, George, and the bride, Susie's personal vows.
What? Why do we have to film something like that? It's a bit over the top, isn't it?
It's just a video of promises we're making to each other before we get married. That's all. I promise to always love and protect you. Things like that.
Oh, okay. I understand now. I'd like to hear what you've thought up. Can't you give me a preview?
Now you've said that, you've made me nervous. Susie, I really love you, and there's no one that understands me like you do. I'm asking you this now because I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Will you do me the honor of becoming my wife? I will be your very own unicorn. I can't tell you that you won't have to work, but I'll make it so that you can do whatever you want to do. If you want to learn something new, I'll pay for your classes. And if you want to go for a 2-month trip around the world, I'll make it happen, no matter the costs. I promise to do all of this for you. So, please marry me.
George?
I'm not lying. I really mean it. I've pledged it all on this video, you see. I'll make everything you want come true. You like dogs, don't you? When we've got married, let's get one. I'll look after it so you don't have to worry about that. If we have a baby, I'll do my utmost to help you with that as well. I'll do as much as I can to make your life as easy as possible. I swear that I'm telling the truth. If I don't keep my promises, I'll accept a divorce if that's what you decide.
Why are you talking about divorce before we're even married?
I'm just trying to let you know how serious I am. That's all. I really am serious, you know. I will keep these promises that I'm making to you today.
Why do men always make promises like that they obviously won't be able to keep before they get married? At the time, though, I naively believed every word of it. After we were married and I'd had our first child, however, I really started to regret my decision.
Susie, Tim's crying.
Can't you just pick him up and try to calm him down for a second, please? I'm trying to express some milk at the moment.
How can I hold him? I'm still really scared that I'll hold him wrong and hurt him, you know.
Well, you can at least check his diaper then. See if it's wet or not. Check it, and if he needs changing, you can change it for him.
I can't do that either. I don't know if he's done anything in it or not.
They showed us these things together in the hospital before they let us come home, didn't they? How to change a diaper was the first thing that we learned. Can you still not even do that?
How am I supposed to remember something like that? I was busy at work for most of the time you were in the hospital, wasn't I? You're with him all the time. That's the only reason that you remember it all. I really don't know, so you'd better do it.
I'm expressing milk for him at the moment, I told you. This isn't something that I can finish in like 5 seconds, you know? How am I supposed to see to Tim when I'm doing this right now?
Still, you're the only one who knows how to change his diaper, aren't you? Can't you change it while you're expressing milk? Listen to him. He won't stop crying. You better go and pick him up or something.
Okay. This is all so ridiculous, you know. Have you taken Hallie for a walk?
Oh, sorry. I forgot.
What? It's been ages since I asked you to take him out. You mean to say that you still haven't been outside with him yet?
I was just having a bit of a rest after work and it slipped my mind. It can happen to anyone, can it? You could have just taken him in the daytime. Then that would have been it.
What about Tim? Just leave him here? He's too young to be out in this weather. Surely you know that. He hasn't had any of his jabs yet either. It's better for him to stay away from strangers until he's at least had those. How do you expect me to go and take the dog for a walk? Do you want me to take him out and make him sick? Or leave him at home on his own?
Well, maybe you could go out with him now then. I'll stay at home and watch Tim.
You're having a laugh, aren't you? You wouldn't even pick him up a second ago when he was crying. How are you exactly planning on looking after him? You can't even change his diaper either.
I can just watch him while I'm taking a bit of a rest, can't I? It's not like he's running around or anything. What's the worst that can happen?
What? You make me so mad sometimes, you know.
You can't go outside because you have to stay here with Tim, don't you? You could go get some fresh air and Hallie can get his walk. I'll stay here and watch the baby.
How am I supposed to leave him with you when you won't even pick him up if he cries and will literally just be watching him? Have you lost your mind? Go and take Hallie for his walk. Now!
Dad, can you do my hair for me, please?
I don't know how to do hair. Why don't you go and ask your mom instead?
Mom says that she's busy, that it's not long until her something. She told me not to go into the office again. She's working, isn't she?
Even so, you better ask her. I told you, I don't know how to do hair and things like that.
Daddy! You always just say that you don't know how to do everything.
What am I supposed to do about that? I really don't know how to do it. Daddy's a boy, so he's never had to do hair, you see. Mom! Dad! I'm back! Hi, Tim. Did you have a good time with your friends?
Yes, I did. It was great. I'm really hungry now, though.
What? Didn't you have anything to eat at your friend's house then?
I did, but I'm still hungry. I ran around a lot, you see. Isn't there anything to eat?
I'm not really sure. You better ask your mom to get something for you.
Mom said that she was busy today, didn't she? Mom's not had a break since Wednesday. She's just been working all the time. She must have an awful lot to do.
Well, you better ask her anyway, because I don't know about things like that.
I guess I better just get some instant noodles or something. Do you want me to get you some too, Rosie?
Yes, please, Tim. Do you know how to make noodles?
Hey, you're too young to be touching hot things like that. It's too dangerous. You could burn yourself or start a fire or anything. Wait until you're a bit older. If you want to eat noodles, you'd better ask your mom to do them for you.
Noodles really aren't that difficult to do, Dad. My friend always just gets some if he gets hungry or anything. My friend taught me how to do it, so now I know how to do it too.
Nope, I'm still not going to let you do it. It's too hot and too dangerous for someone your age. How can someone your age use hot water in the gas stove? Go and ask Mom to get some for you.
Why don't you get them for us then, Dad? Mom's busy.
I'm not very good at making instant noodles. Mom's noodles are much better than anything I can do. So why don't you go and get Mom and ask her to get them for you?
Oh, yes. Dad, they gave me something at school on Friday.
At school? What is it?
It's a piece of paper about something. The teacher said we needed to get our parents to sign it and hand it in to her again on Monday.
Well, you should have done that as soon as you got home on Friday, shouldn't you?
I was busy doing my homework then, so I forgot all about it. Dad, can't you just sign it for me?
I don't have a pen. Go and ask your mom to sign it for you.
Dad, I'm not asking you to do anything difficult, am I? Just to sign a piece of paper for me. Surely you can do that. I have a pencil in my bag. You could use that.
Sign something with a pencil? That's ridiculous. You should always sign things with a pen, you know. That way no one can erase it, can they? If you go into Mom's office, there are lots of pens. Go in there and get her to sign it with one of those.
I've got to ask Mom to do that for me too. She's going to get mad if I do that.
It'll be fine. It won't take that long now, will it? She only has to sign your paper, do Rosie's hair, and make the two of you some noodles, doesn't she? It won't distract her that much. So just do what I say and ask her. Oh, and make sure she makes 3 packs of noodles so that I can have some too.
What about Mom? He doesn't think that she might want to have some too, does he? What? If we have a baby, he'll take care of it? He'll look after the dog? If I knew what he'd really be like after we were married, I think I would have ran for the hills. He doesn't even lift a finger around the house. He is the exact opposite of everything that he promised he would be before we got married, in fact. I will look after both the kids and the dog. Really? What a load of rubbish. He plays with the kids for a few minutes very occasionally, and he sometimes walks the dog for less than 10 minutes. And that's only when he's going outside to have a smoke anyway. So I don't think think you can really even call it walking the dog. Him acting like this really drives me insane. If you haven't experienced it, it would be impossible to know how annoying it is to have your husband act like this. If he is asked anything by the kids, he always tells them to ask me or tell me, no matter how easy of a request it might be. I really don't understand the point of him being here if he isn't going to do anything at all. How can he still call himself the children's dad when he does nothing for them like this? I can't help but think things like this. Being a freelancer, I work from home in my little home office. Every time I hear him telling the kids to ask me something or to ask me to do something, I can feel my blood pressure rising. Sometimes, I can't help but get mad at the kids when they keep coming in with request after request. But every time that happens, I end up feeling more and more sorry for them. But this jerk that calls himself the children's father never seems to learn and never seems to grow up.
Susie, shall we ask my parents to move in with us?
What? Move in? Are you seriously asking me if I want your parents to move in here and live with us?
Of course I am. What else could that possibly mean?
You know that I'd say I didn't want them to. So why are you suddenly asking me something like that? I'm quite interested in hearing why you're suddenly bringing it up like this.
Mom's really worried about Dad these days, you see. Mom is getting older and frailer herself, and Dad hurt his back not long ago, didn't he? Since that happened, he's quit his job and is at home all day, every day, Mom says. I just don't feel very comfortable with just the two of them living there when they're both old and weak. I thought that because you work from home, it'd be easy for you to take them to hospital appointments and stuff when they needed to go, and that you'd just be there during the day in case something was to happen. We don't use the big bedroom either, do we? They could have that room. The hospitals here in the city are a lot better than they are in the countryside where they live now as well, aren't they?
Do I just mess around at home all day? It's not even like I'm a housewife who only has the housework to deal with. You see that I spend all my time in my office, working my fingers to the bone. How could I possibly look after your parents on top of all of this? I don't know how you even have the nerve to suggest it, if I'm honest. Do you think that I'm a complete pushover or something? Can't you see that I'm working my butt off until late every night and even every weekend?
Well, the fact that you are able to work late at night and on the weekends means that it's easier for you to change your working hours than it is for most people, doesn't it? Well, it'd be easier for you to look after them than it would be for me, seeing that I'm at work all day.
What? Easy? You really have gone too far this time. You talk about it like it's nothing. Do you really believe that your parents living here with us and the kids would be easy? You also haven't even given me a single thought in all of this. I'd be living with my parents-in-law after all.
What's so difficult about that? It's not like my parents are expecting amazing things or anything like that. They're just going to be resting at home most of the time. There won't even be anything extra for you to do most of the time. You just have to make sure that they're okay.
What a load of rubbish. Even them being here in the house means that I will have to get 3 meals ready for them every day. No matter how busy I happen to be at the time, if they're sick, I'll have to take them to the hospital and sort out their meds for them. I will have to do all of that. And that's just for starters. If I tell them that I was busy working, do you think that they are the type to just be like, "Oh, Susie's working," and leave me alone just like that? You know as well as I do that they'd be like, "Oh, Susie isn't feeding us properly. She's trying to starve us." Things like that.
Why are you only thinking about the bad things like that? It could even make things easier for you than they are now, you know. Even the kids know that you're busy working most of the time. Do you think that my parents wouldn't notice? How do you know that they won't help out by getting dinner for you and the kids while you are working?
That's a good point. I'm glad that you mentioned that. Even the kids know that I'm busy, don't they? The only one who doesn't seem to realize that is you. The kids try to ask you to help because they know that I'm busy, but you always just tell them to come and ask me for every tiny little thing. And what? You think that your mom would get dinner for me and the kids? Do you even know your mom at all? She's someone who feigns illness and stuff to get out of even making your food, and you're her son. They don't even really like children, do they? Whenever we go to see them, they just moan about how noisy the kids are and ask when we are leaving. Do you think those kind of people would be easy to live with? They'd be even worse about the noise if they had to put up with it all the time, and the kids would get so stressed about it.
You really are being over the top about this whole thing, you know. What is there for you to be uncomfortable about? You're married to me, so my parents are your parents, aren't they? It's our duty to look after my parents when they get too old to do it themselves. Do you want to be known as a rubbish daughter-in-law who doesn't care? We should look after them when they're sick, which will be easier if we're living together, and it would make us all a lot closer as a family as well.
Anyway, I'm not having it. Your parents can't move in with us. No way. I don't want to hear you mention this again.
Mom, I finished school.
Hi, Tim. Have you had a good day? Wash your hands, and then there's some pasta that I made earlier in the fridge. If you just give me a minute, I'll come and heat it up for you.
No, it's okay, Mom. I know that you're busy. I just have to put some in a bowl and put it in the microwave, don't I? That's easy. I can do that by myself. You don't have to worry about it.
Do you know how to use the microwave, Tim?
Yes, I do. My friend taught me, you see. My friend's parents get him to do things for himself all the time. They teach him what he needs to know, and if he doesn't do them himself, they don't give him his pocket money.
Okay, then. It's really good that your friend has taught you to do things like that. You're amazing. Thank you so much. Would you be able to heat up 2 bowls of pasta then? One for you and one for Rosie?
Okay, Mom, I will. Mom, seeing how hard you have to work all the time makes me feel a bit sad, you know? You must be so tired.
Oh, Tim.
You even come back in here and work after you've put Rosie and I to bed, don't you? It seems like you are a lot busier than Dad is, but he's always telling us to ask you to do things and doesn't do anything himself. I really don't understand why he acts like that, you know?
Dad's just tired when he comes home from work, that's why.
Dad asked me yesterday if I'd like it if Gran and Granddad came here to live with us, you know? I told him that I'd hate it. Gran always tells me that I'm annoying and too noisy, and she gets really mad when I mess around.
Oh, he asked you as well, did he? To be honest, Gran and Granddad are getting a bit old now and they aren't that well, so Dad wanted them to move in with us, you see.
They'd always make you do everything for them too, then, wouldn't they? I guess they would. They're all adults too, but they all always ask you to do everything for them and tell us not to ask Dad, but to ask you instead, and that Dad's tired because he works hard to make money for us. But you're always working as well, aren't you, Mom? So you'd have to look after Gran and Granddad on top of everything you already have to do? I don't think that that's fair at all. No one else wants them to live here with us except Dad, and it isn't like he's going to help with any of it anyway.
Oh, Tim. I'm so grateful to you for understanding how I'm feeling. You really are the best, you know. Thank you so much for being the kind, caring boy that you are.
You're the best too, Mom. Oh, what's this? It doesn't seem like a book. Why is it in the bookcase? There's an old date written on it.
Oh, that's where that got to. It's not a book. It's something called a video. Before your dad and I got married, we recorded our vows onto it, you see. You've never seen one of these before, have you?
Vows? Will you marry me? That kind of thing?
Yes, that's right. Dad made kind of a promise about what he would do and what he would be like once we were married, and we recorded it on this video. Before we threw away the video player, we saved the file on the computer, so we didn't need this anymore, but you found the original.
I want to watch it, Mom.
Oh, do you? Shall we watch it together? I'm on a break anyway now, you see. We can do something together for a change. It'll be fun. Hang on, I'll just try to find the file. I wonder where I saved it.
Wow. Did Dad really say all of those things? He's such a liar, isn't he?
I can't believe that he said all of those things either. Watching it now, everything he said that he'd do after we were married were all lies. I'm the idiot for believing that he'd stick to what he'd promised.
Dad doesn't do anything at home at all, does he? How could he promise that he'd treat you well like that? He's always making you do everything for him and for us. And you are the one who looks after Hallie as well. If Dad walks Hallie, Hallie starts whining because Dad doesn't do it properly, so he doesn't like it.
I thought he was telling the truth at the time, you know? Tim, when you get a girlfriend, don't ever tell her lies like this. You promise?
When I get a girlfriend, I'm going to treat her really well. I'm not going to lie to her, and I'm not going to be anything like Dad.
Right. You're really smart, you know.
Mom, I've got an idea. Why don't we try this? We have the video right here, don't we?
What? What's your idea?
Mom, first tell Dad that you're okay with Gran and Granddad moving in with us. Then...
I think my son Tim is actually a lot more mature than his dad is. I nearly cried hearing him stick up for me like he did. At first, I wanted to kill George for wanting his parents to move in when he never does anything at all around the house, and for making out that my work isn't important or anything. That's when Tim gave me a really good idea. He might be my son, but he really is so smart. After listening to Tim's plan, I decided to put it into action straight away. It was the thing that I had secretly wanted to do hundreds and thousands of times before. George, you haven't changed your mind about wanting your parents to move in with us, have you?
Pardon? Have you changed your mind? Is it okay if they come and live with us then?
Yes, I have. Let's ask them to come and live here with us.
Really? You're sure, aren't you? I'm going to call Mom and tell her right away.
Sure, let her know that she can move in with us.
Wow. Thank you so much, Susie. I knew you'd change your mind when it came down to it. They'll have to move house. We'll have an awful lot to do for a while. I wonder how we can work this out and get everything done properly.
There is one condition, though.
A condition? What's that then?
First, promise that you'll listen to me no matter what I say.
What? Are you adding conditions that I have to agree to for my parents to move in with us? How can you do that?
If you aren't going to agree to my conditions, I'm not going to let your parents move in with us, no matter what. Are you going to listen to me or not?
Okay, I'll listen to you. I'm listening. What are the conditions?
I'm going to go on a vacation to Southeast Asia for a month from the day that they move in.
What about your work?
I can do my work anytime and anywhere as long as I have my laptop with me. We're getting to a bit of a quieter time work-wise as well. I won't be as busy then as I have been lately. I'm going to use this opportunity to go on vacation and get some well-deserved rest.
Why is it only you that gets to go on vacation then? What about the rest of us? When Mom and Dad move in, there'll be all of their stuff to sort out. They'll have to find new doctors. It'll be a really busy time, you know.
Have you forgotten everything you said to me and promised me before we got married?
What? Before we got married?
Yes, before we got married. You recorded your vows to me, didn't you? I made it into a computer file, you see, before we got rid of all of our video players. I found it accidentally yesterday. And you said this: if you want to go on a trip around the world, be it for 1 month or 2, I'll send you on it.
That was just something I said before we were married, wasn't it?
You said at the end that if you didn't keep your promises, you'd let me divorce you. Don't you remember that either? I guess you really must have meant it at the time to say something like that. What do you think about it?
How can you just mention divorce so easily like that? What about the kids? We have Tim and Rosie to think about after all, don't we?
We have the kids to think about? You really are talking rubbish now, aren't you? When have you ever thought about them? Did you think about them when you suggested that your parents move in with us? Stop talking nonsense and decide what you're going to do. Are you going to send me on vacation for a month, or shall we just get a divorce?
Are you really just going to leave us here and go off like this?
Listening to you now, anyone would think that we were getting divorced or something. I'm just going on vacation for a month, that's all. Just think of it as me getting some rest in preparation of your parents moving in. That's all.
Okay, I will. I don't see what you're making such a big deal out of, to be honest. How hard can it be?
Well, you're soon going to find out, aren't you? International calls are expensive, so don't bother calling. You can message me if you want to, but I might not see them right away, you know?
Aren't you getting a new SIM card?
Oh, I've just got one for data, not calls. It's a lot cheaper. I don't think it gives much data either, to be honest. I'm sure that the hotel will have Wi-Fi anyway.
So how am I supposed to get hold of you if I need anything?
What could you possibly need me for? Are you a child or something? You said it yourself. There's nothing difficult about your parents moving in with us. That it's not something to feel uncomfortable about. So there shouldn't be any problem, should there now? You can figure everything out by yourself, I'm sure. Don't come whining to me all the time. Tim! Rosie! I'm going to go now. See you again soon. Be good!
Just put it on. It doesn't matter what you wear now, does it? You aren't going to a fashion show or anything. You're just going to school.
I don't want to wear it. It isn't pretty. I want to wear a skirt. Find a skirt for me to wear, Dad.
Okay, here's a skirt. What are you making all this fuss for?
Not that one. I don't like that skirt. The pleated one with frills. I want to wear that one. Come and find that skirt for me, Dad.
I don't know where that particular skirt is, Rosie. It was your mom that put everything away. How am I supposed to know where it all is?
I don't care. Just get it for me. I want to wear that skirt today. I don't know where it is either. So you have to find it for me, Dad.
All of Gran and Granddad's stuff is going to be here soon. We've got to hurry up and get ready. Tim, do you know where the skirt that Rosie wants is?
No, of course I don't. Why would I know where Rosie's skirt is? I told you not to tell me to do everything for you like you always do to Mom, didn't I? How am I supposed to know where Mom puts Rosie's clothes?
Well, with the amount of time that you spend right next to Mom, I thought you might have seen. That's all. How can you not know where it is?
You're exactly the same though, aren't you, Dad? You're always sitting on the sofa next to Mom when she folds and puts the washing away, and you don't know where anything is either, do you?
Ugh.
Dad, if you don't buy my skirt for me, then I'm not going to go to school. I need to wear that skirt today.
Just put anything on. Stop making such a fuss.
Dad, what about our breakfast?
What about it?
You always say that we need to eat a proper breakfast to be able to concentrate in class, don't you? You always tell Mom that she has to make sure that we have a good breakfast every day. But there's nothing here for us to eat today. What are we going to eat before we go to school?
It'll be fine if you don't have breakfast for one day. It's not like you're going to starve or anything, is it? Gran will be here tomorrow. Then she can make you breakfast in the mornings. You'll just have to go without today.
What? I don't want to. I'm hungry. I want eggs and dippy bread. I'm going to eat that for breakfast before I go to school.
What's wrong with you today? We're late. We have to leave. I don't have time to make you eggs. It's just not happening.
Why not? Mom always makes me eggs and dippy bread for breakfast before I go to school if that's what I want to eat. You always told Mom to make sure that we have breakfast every day because else we wouldn't be able to concentrate at school. So why won't you make us breakfast? I'm hungry. I want some breakfast now. And where's my skirt? I told you that I'm not going to go to school unless you find it for me.
You really are making me lose my temper now. Just have some cereal. There's milk in the fridge.
Whenever Mom gave us that, you always got really mad and said that she shouldn't give us that because it isn't a proper breakfast.
George, why do you look so exhausted? Didn't Susie even leave you anything to eat before she went on her trip? It's not that. It's just that the kids made such a huge fuss this morning before they went to school. That's all. Getting them ready for school felt like I was in a war zone or something. It really did. Tim wasn't too bad, except moaning about breakfast. But Rosie really was something else. I guess little brats are always like that, aren't they?
Of course she wants to look nice for school. It doesn't matter that she's still young. I don't see what the problem is.
You've never had a daughter, have you? Don't tell me how easy it is when you don't know anything about it.
What did you just say? Are you looking down on me and saying that I don't know anything because I only brought you up and didn't have a daughter?
You know that wasn't what I meant, Mom. Do you know how hard it was to get Rosie ready and out of the door on time for school this morning? She wanted me to get her exactly what she wanted for breakfast, then to find the exact clothes that she wanted to wear for her, and then tie up her hair exactly how she wanted it. It was an absolute nightmare. It really was. Doing her hair was really difficult, too. She was crying because it got all tangled, and she said that I was hurting her, so I ended up just leaving it down in the end. She cried so much that she went to school with her face all swollen and blotchy.
Don't make me laugh. Do you think you were any different growing up? Every day when I made you breakfast, you always moaned that you didn't want so-and-so or you didn't like so-and-so, and you'd just take the bits you liked and leave everything else. You always blamed me when you got in trouble from your teacher for not doing your homework as well. You've got in quite the habit of blaming others for everything, haven't you?
When did I say that? You really don't know what I had to go through this morning. Anyway, that's what happened. Mom, you can get the kids ready for school and make their breakfast for them tomorrow. I just can't do it.
No way! Why do I have to do that? I'm so tired these days that I can hardly even get up in the mornings. How am I supposed to look after your kids for you like that?
Everyone says that you wake up earlier as you get older. What's happened with you, Mom? Would it really be that difficult for you to just get up in the morning and get the kids breakfast for them?
They're your kids. You can sort them out. I told you I'm tired, so I sleep late in the mornings. I don't even get your dad breakfast anymore. Why would I wake up especially to get it for your kids? Rosie is really fussy with food too, isn't she? Last time you all stayed at our old place, Rosie made such a fuss when I made her breakfast, saying that it was too salty and too cold and everything else. I don't want to go through all of that again. It's hard to want to do anything for her when she's so whiny all the time, you know. She's not the type of child to just say thank you and eat her breakfast nicely now, is she?
I'm sure it'd be fine if you just didn't make it quite so salty, wouldn't it? You do tend to use a lot of salt in your food, though, Mom. Even I find it quite salty most of the time.
Well, you can make your own food then, can't you? Do you think I came here to make food for the whole family or something? How could you ask your poor old mom to make breakfast for her grandchildren every day? I did that when I was bringing you up. Now it's your turn. You should be making food for me, not the other way around.
Oh, Mom! Dad, what did you think of that hospital then? How about we get you registered properly there?
It looked a bit busy for me. I can't really see what would be good about it, you know? Going to a place like that just seems like a huge waste of money to me.
You've only been there once. How can you tell how well the treatment has worked straight away like this? Everything takes time, you know.
Even so, if you've paid that much for treatment, surely you should be able to see the results of it. Or else what's the point in spending so much money on it? I got better results going to the physio in our little village.
Just be patient and give it some time, Dad. Hang on, I'll open the door for you. We're back from the hospital. Oh my. What's happened to the house? What a mess.
What do you mean, what's happened? Our stuff has arrived, of course. Why do you ask such stupid questions?
Why have you just left it all in the living room like that? You should have tidied it all up. There's not even space to sit down here.
What? You expected me to have all of this stuff tidied up in the few hours that you were out of the house? You really are ridiculous sometimes, you know. How is your old mom supposed to tidy up all of these boxes and all this furniture? I can't even move most of them. You took Dad out then on purpose, hoping that I'd get everything sorted out while you were gone, didn't you?
No, of course I didn't. I just didn't expect the house to be in this much of a mess, that's all. You could have at least put it all neatly against the wall or something so that we actually have room to move or sit down, couldn't you?
There's our bed, wardrobe. Most of it is heavy furniture. How could I possibly move any of it by myself? I'm already weak from looking after your dad all the time since he hurt his back. Are you trying to kill me by getting me to move all of that heavy stuff all by myself? Or did you want me to get your tiny little kids to help lift them? You could have at least tied up the clothes and the small things like that, though, couldn't you? How am I supposed to put away the clothes when I can't use the wardrobe? Why don't you think a bit before you open your mouth and stop talking such nonsense? Anyway, stop standing there like a fool and get the furniture moved if you want to be able to use your living room again. Why do I have to do everything? Oh, you silly little girl! Just let me finish putting your hair up and get dressed! It's time for breakfast. Get a move on, will you?
Stop it!
What's wrong with you, Mom? Why are you making Rosie cry like that?
Dad! I hate Gran! She pulls my hair too tight when she puts it up and it really hurts! It hurts so much! It feels like all my hair is going to fall out!
You have to do it like that, or else it'll all come undone and your hair will be everywhere again. If I do it the way you want me to, it'll all come undone and you'll be back in an hour asking me to do it again, won't you? You have to do it tight like that. There's no choice.
I hate it! It's ugly and it hurts! I don't like the clothes you got out for me to wear either!
What is there not to like? You're going to be running about like you always do anyway. How can you possibly wear a skirt? Just put the pants that I got out for you on. They make you look really neat and tidy. And they're practical, too.
I hate them! They're so ugly! I can just wear shorts under my skirt, can't I? I don't like pants! Mom just gives me shorts to wear under my skirt. Why haven't you given me any? I hate pants! They're ugly! I want to wear my pretty skirt!
You can tell that you're not the one that has to do all of the laundry, can't you? How many times do you change your clothes in a day? You have to wash those white shorts by hand as well. Don't go outside and get all dirty. Just play nicely so you don't have to get changed so many times. Mom isn't the one doing all of the laundry anyway.
Dad, I hate Gran! Make her go home to her own house!
Rosie, this is Gran's house too now. We're going to live here with Gran and Granddad now.
Well, I don't want to! Tell Gran to go home! I hate her!
Shut up! What are you whining about all the time? You're making my back even worse! I know you are! Just be quiet, you stupid little girl!
I hate Granddad too! I only like Dad! Gran and Granddad are always shouting at me and making me do things for them like getting them water. And if we eat snacks, they always give more to Tim than they do to me. They always give all the best things to Tim and say that I have to share. I hate everything about them. I hate Gran and Granddad.
Rosie, Mom will be home soon. Let's just be good until then, hey?
I hate you too, Dad. Go away. It's your fault that Gran and Granddad are living with us, isn't it? I hate you. I want my mom. I'm going to live with Mom. Mom!
Shh! Didn't I tell you to be quiet, you stupid little girl? Just shut up! Now the dog started too. You and the dog are just so noisy, I can't stand it! Why is it always barking at me? The dog is barking! My granddaughter spends the whole day whining and crying and shouting!
Be quiet, the lot of you! This is ridiculous! I can't live like this. Susie, you're there, aren't you? Are you looking at my messages? Susie, answer me, please! Oh, what's wrong? I've just finished work and I've come to get a massage. I'm having such a hard time here and you're getting a massage? Do you know how hard it's been here since you left? I can't live without you like this. Please come home. You've been away for long enough now.
Please. I'm begging you.
Wasn't it obvious that living with your parents wouldn't be as easy as you thought? I warned you what it would be like, but you wouldn't listen, would you? Your dad doesn't do anything and just shouts about the noise. Your mom keeps complaining that she doesn't want to make dinner, or do the laundry, or tidy, or do anything at all. Rosie keeps crying and shouting that she hates everyone. And then your mom and dad get mad at her for being noisy and saying that she hates them. I'm right, aren't I? Oh, and because they aren't nice to Hallie, he barks every time they come into the room, so they get mad about that too. That's exactly what's happening, isn't it?
Huh? How on earth do you know all of that? Are you spying on us or something?
It was obvious. I knew that this would happen, and I even warned you. You're exactly the same as your mom, you know. Your mom always makes me do everything because she can't be bothered. It always makes me think that the phrase like mother, like son is totally true. Aren't I right?
Stop teasing me, Susie. Can't you just cut your vacation short and come home? I really don't think that I can take much more of this. I've taken a day off work and I'm staying at home, but it's hell. Why is everyone being like this to me? Why is everyone always asking me to do every little thing?
This is what it's like for me all the time. You know, the things that you are always making me do. Looking after the kids, running around after your parents, looking after Hallie even. They are all things that I have been doing at home while trying to do a full-time job at the same time. I've only been gone for 3 days, and you're here crying to me like a baby. You've taken time off work at least. You still feel like 10 pairs of hands wouldn't be enough to get everything you need to get done, don't you? How can you expect me to do all of it and get my work done at the same time?
Susie.
I've had enough. Don't come whining to me. It's my turn to get the massage now, so I've got to go. It's a 2-hour massage, so I won't be able to answer you for at least that long.
Susie? Susie!
Mom, what are you doing? Oh, hi, Tim. I've come to get a massage. They've lit candles and put warm clothes over me. It feels so good. That sounds amazing. Let's go together next time. Sure, that sounds great. I found lots of great restaurants, so next time let's come here with Rosie, just the 3 of us. What do you think? That sounds great, Mom. Something really funny happened today, you know. Oh, what happened today then? Did Dad start crying again? That's not even strange anymore. Dad cries every day recently. Gran and Rosie had a big fight. What were they fighting about? Dad tried to make Gran do Rosie's hair and get her clothes ready for her, but Gran pulled her hair into a really tight ponytail and Rosie said it hurt and started crying. Gran does pull your hair back really tight when she puts it up. I can understand why Rosie was crying. It feels like your scalp is going to split or something. Gran said that if she did it the way Rosie asked her to, it'd all fall out and she'd have to do it again with her running around like a crazy person all day long, and that it looked neat and pretty like it was. Gran brushed her hair with that really hard brush as well, and Rosie was screaming. Gran then got her clothes out, but she brought out a pair of my pants and told her to wear them. Rosie hates pants anyway, but why did Gran give her a pair of your pants? She said that Rosie was only going to run around outside all day and get them dirty, so there was no need to wear anything nice. She gave Rosie my old pants that have holes in the knees. You know the ones, don't you? Oh, the ones I left out to throw away? She was trying to make Rosie wear those? She told Rosie that she was a silly little girl and that she could play in her brother's old clothes. In the end, Rosie knocked over the table that Gran had put breakfast on and started crying and screaming. Dad tried to calm her down, but she said that she hated Dad too because it was his fault that Gran and Granddad are living with us, and Dad's in my room with Rosie now trying to calm her down. Oh, really? I feel quite sorry for poor Rosie. Everything's okay with you, isn't it? I'm fine, Mom. Rosie doesn't know what's going on, so I guess it's understandable for her to cry. But I know everything, don't I? If Dad asks me to do something, I just pretend that I don't know anything about it. Granddad keeps shouting all the time, so Hallie's spending most of the time in my room with me. I'll sort Rosie out, so don't worry about her. Just enjoy your vacation, Mom.
You really deserve it.
Okay, Tim. Thanks for everything. I love you. Tell Rosie not to cry and that I'll bring her back a really good present when I come back.
Okay, Mom, I will. Enjoy your massage.
What on earth has happened to this house? I've only been gone a month. It looks like a bomb's hit it or something.
Oh, Susie, you're finally here.
Leave me alone a second. I've got to unpack and check on the children before I can even think about anything else.
The last month has been so hard. I don't think I can survive without you, you know.
What? You're going to make me do everything again, are you?
No, of course not. Why are you thinking like that?
You have always been like that, haven't you? Making me do everything and getting the kids to ask me to do everything for them. The only thing that you ever do in this house is say that you're tired and that you need to rest. That's the only thing you ever do here. Rest.
Susie, please.
You might not have been able to keep every single promise that you made to me before we got married. You're only human after all, and people and circumstances change. I know that. But we're a married couple. We live together, so we should help each other. I'm not the only one that lives in this house, am I? You, me, and the kids all live here. It's our house. Isn't it strange that I have to do all the housework and everything on my own when we all live here? You even went as far as asking your parents to move in with us, not thinking about all of the work that you make me do alone already. You were saying that having an extra 2 people living here with us wouldn't make any more work and wouldn't be uncomfortable, didn't you? So let me know this. Did you live comfortably this last month?
No, I didn't realize how much you did until you weren't here to do any of it anymore. Looking after the kids, Hallie, the housework. That's enough for anyone to cope with. But my parents living here with us as well made it all 20 times worse. It really did. I thought that they might help out a bit, but they are old now and just ordered me around and complained at me most of the time.
Oh, really? I'm glad you finally understand what I was talking about anyway.
I won't say anything about living with my parents ever again. And I won't make you do all of the housework by yourself either. Let's do it together from now on. I was wrong. I'm really sorry for how I've acted all of these years.
You're just making more promises that you aren't going to keep like you did before we got married, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I promise I won't forget and I will help out. If I break my promises again, I'm not even good enough to be counted as a person, I swear. You can record me saying this too if you want to. I, George, will not forget what happened when you went away. And I promise to live my life helping you around the house and with the children instead of making you do everything by yourself.
I've recorded it. I'm going to be watching to see if you keep your promise or not. I really hope that you can show me what a changed man you have become. If you go back to how you used to be, I'll go on vacation for 2 months. Understood?
Please, anything but that.
From that vacation on, George showed me that he was a changed man. For a start, he took the initiative and did things that needed to be done around the house on his own without having to be told. He used to always say that he was tired or that he didn't know how to do everything that he couldn't be bothered to do. But that changed to him saying that he'd do it. He started saying that he'd do things without me having to say a word to him first. He also stopped getting the children to ask me about every little thing but started helping them himself. He even started going to a class for dads that wanted to be able to do their daughter's hair. He still isn't very good, so I can't really get him to do Rosie's hair for her quite yet, mind you. But at least he's making the effort. George's mom and dad got tired of their son's incompetence and decided that they wanted to move back out. They've settled on getting an apartment close to ours, so we can see each other more often and it's easier to check up on them and help them out without them actually living with us. Luckily, Dad's back seems to be slowly improving. Going to a big hospital in the city seems to be doing it the world of good, as we expected it would. He's still very grumpy and doesn't seem to like the kids much, but it's a lot more comfortable for everyone just popping in to see each other in short bursts rather than spending every waking moment together. I've started teaching the kids how to do the housework. Tim has been mostly looking after Hallie, And I've been teaching Rosie how to do things like fold the washing and give her simple cleaning jobs around the house. I've asked the kids many times if helping out like this is tiring or hard, but they say that it's better for them to do it quickly themselves than waiting for mom or dad to do it for them. The kids are actually much better than their dad is at folding the laundry and cleaning. Thanks to them, I have no need to nag anyone anymore. On the contrary, they are usually the ones nagging their dad about his poor housework skills. Dad, you've got to fold them neatly like this. They'll get all creased again. It's really funny to hear her nagging her dad like that from my office, and it makes me laugh every time I hear her do it. If you bring your children up well like this, they are much better than a husband. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to see more content.